So I have this shelf behind my bed, and it's not that cool at the moment. There are standing some books I'm reading and that we just ignore, and the bed for my cats. And the thing is, this part does not look cool. So we going to make it cool? At least I hope so. I am planning to do a BookNook there, well, probably there. And since there aren't that many books in this shelf yet, I wanna create a kind of library. So let's see what we're doing.
Hi, I'm Seppo, and today I show you how I made my own library. First of all, we need the base. I'm working with some cardboard. The cardboard with the black labels on it is going to be the bottom, and the brighter cardboard is going to be the walls. Measuring, cutting, everything which is necessary. I fixated it with crop tape, which surprisingly worked very good. After that, I took all my popsicles I usually use for all my resin projects and cut them. Yes, this is a side cutter. Have I tried it with other stuff? Yes, it did not work. It was only the thing I could use, but I do not recommend doing that. Anyways, I cut the round edges because I want to have a cool looking wooden floor, and since such big wooden tiles wouldn't look nice, I cut them in half and sanded them for years. This looks so fast, but I promise you, it's so much sped up. And shame on me, my SD card was completely full and I didn't recognize it, and so there is no footage how I glued all those nice wooden tiles in place. But I promise it looks cool, you will see it later. Here I'm preparing everything for the door, and let me tell you, I'm very bad with numbers and everything. So I'm not good in scaling things, so we pretend I didn't tell you that the door is going to be too small for this whole BookNook, and we ignore that fact. And it also doesn't have the doorknob. We ignore that because not everything has to be perfect. Yeah, I wanted to have a cool door with flattened or rounded edges inside, so I kind of carved them into the cardboard. This cardboard is very durable. I was very impressed. And since we have a door, this library has to have a window as well. This ruler, by the way, is the worst. If you want to cut stuff, never use a ruler out of plastic. But eventually I get my other ruler out of aluminium. There it is. It's much easier to cut with that instead of the plastic one. And we also do some color theory. What color do I have to mix together brown tone? Exactly, red and green. I'm using more of an orange tone, but anyways, the brown I mix is okay for what I needed, and brushed the brown down with some black and white so it looked more used. And in the drying time, I tried to draw the view outside the window. I can tell you the cardboard wasn't the best idea to draw on. And I made it rather fast instead of taking my time. Next time I will use different paper and more time to make it more realistic. But it is what it is. And I forgot that window has a frame around them. So I made that and glued it on place as well. Okay, listen. I watched a video how someone made tiny little small books. And the person was crying that it took so long, it was exhausting for them and they were so annoyed. And I was like, what's the problem? It's just cutting the cover, cutting some cardboard, gluing it together. Shouldn't take more than 2 hours or so. But oh my God, was I wrong. It took me forever. Only to cut those little inlays for the books. And another lifetime to cut the covers. Especially it took me years to remember that I had this paper cut thing to cut them straight and more easily. Sometimes my brain doesn't work. And that's why you have to watch me now how I cut those sweet little book covers. I found them online and I was pretty happy. There were some of my favorite books in it, Animal Farm and especially Kafka's Metamorphosis. Have you read Metamorphosis? It's such a great book. If you haven't, do so. I truly recommend it. And while I'm cutting and gluing and being annoyed that there are too many books, I also want to tell you that there is one Easter egg in this BookNook. Or at least there will be. You haven't seen it yet. And also, the Easter egg is mostly for the German viewers or the viewers who can read German. I will show it to you at the end. Finally, I'm done. It was so nerve-wracking. Overall, those were 178 books. Oh, you haven't seen the wallpaper I gave the room because I didn't record it. I'm sorry. But it's a dark wallpaper with a nice pattern on it. It gives the room an older touch to it. Okay, but we are not working on the wallpaper right now. We are working on the shelves. They will be very tall, and I took normal paper as a background. It was used as a reference and backplane. One of my smarter moves in this creation. For the shelves, I used cardboard again. It's not very thick, around 2 or 3 millimeters, and I glued that together and had 2 wonderful shelves. They were supposed to cover the wall with the door and the wall next to the door. And of course, everything has to get a color as well. So there's my big paint job. I painted everything I had in a brownish tone, toned it down with some black wash, and gave it a more used look with some white brushes. And after everything dried, I glued the shelf together with super glue, and after that I painted the floor you haven't seen yet. And still haven't seen, but you will see soon. I wonder why I didn't glue my fingers together as I were using super glue. Usually I'm that clumsy, yes. Oh god, this part was the worst part. I made it thrice. I've seen a video on YouTube. The link for it will be below. They made an armchair and I could use the template from them. I don't know exactly what kind of glue the person used. They showed it, but well, let's not talk about it, okay? Nonetheless, I used hot glue all the time because I wasn't patient enough to let it dry all the time. But I should stop spoiler you and explain what I'm doing. So here, cutting out template, thinking about my life choices, gluing everything together, crying, screaming because of the hot glue, and I wanted to have this chair in a wonderful green fabric. A friend of mine sent it to me because I couldn't find some good fabrics. Yeah. Do you know those armchairs from IKEA? Those armchairs in green, and they are so awesome. I don't know. You probably have seen it if you have ever been to IKEA. And that's what I wanted to have. At the end, this chair cost me my final brain cell, but it didn't turn out that bad. The best thing is the chair is the last thing I had to make for this BookNook. So we are done very, very soon. Yay! Did I tell you that this hot glue was a mistake? You know, I had an old hot glue which was weird and broken, and the glue wasn't hot, and so I bought a new one. Now I know how hot hot glue is supposed to be. Let me tell you, it's supposed to be very hot. I had blisters on my fingers because I was not used to how hot it is. Yeah, anyways, it wasn't smart. Now I know better. Hopefully. I don't think so. Oh, and I made the things where the chair is standing on out of Fimo, painted them a bit with brown color and superglued it in place. And finally, it was time to furnish the library. You see me putting all those little books and small plants together in place, but I won't show you everything. Because my camera stopped recording because my beloved SD card was full again. But now, prepare for the final result and you can see the book out of the books. It's an awesome fantasy book called Der sechste Kreis, and if you're German, this is your Easter egg, your hint to get this book. It's a really nice story. Okay, so we're done. What do you think about my library? Would you love to live in it? Thank you so much for watching, and feel free to subscribe to my channel for future random art and crafting stuff. Bye!